Hi, Manu from Healing with Manu. In this video, I will share with you an energy practice that I've called clasping illness into wellness. So essentially, it's about having your two hands, this hand being the representing unhealth, and this hand representing health, and then bringing them together until unhealth gets dissolved. So before we get started with the practice, I'd like to give you maybe a few metaphors so that you can hopefully resonate with one or two of them. And then when it's time to get into the practice, you will hopefully be more able to commit, invest, and do your best. Okay, all right. So the first metaphor I have with you is the one about the word health. Funnily enough, the word health has got the same etymology as the word whole, W-H-O-L-E. And it comes from the Old English hal, H-A-L, and that means hurt, incomplete. And basically, the metaphor I would like to suggest is that this hand here, the left hand, represents a whole of who you are, H-O-L-E. Whereas the right hand represents the whole, W-H-O-L-E. So I'm going to push, because I love words, I'm going to push this metaphor even a little bit further, is that this hand is a bit of a whole of a whole. Are you with me? Whereas this hand is the whole of the whole to be. So we start with, if you want to, we start with the rabbit hole of an intention, and then we get into the wormhole of a focus, and then we meet up with the whole H-O-L-E of this left hand, and then hopefully we will then operate this right hand, which will be the whole that we want to see happening, and then they're going to meet in a line, and then possibly expectantly move to a state of wellness, which is what it's all about. There's a doctor that talked about something with illness starts with the letter I, so it's very much a me thing, because we have focused so much on the whole of one part, whereas wellness starts with W-E, which is we. So we is when we are encompassing all the parts of who we are. Okay, so the whole is this left hand, the whole is this right hand, and we bring them together. I've got another metaphor, and it's a geological one. To me, when I do this exercise and I bring my two hands together, it reminds me of a subduction area where you've got two tectonic plates, and then as they meet, there is one that is going to get elevated because the other one is moving under and then pushing it up. So basically, the hope, the intention that we're going to put out here is that this left hand, the unhealthy hand, which is okay by itself, by the way, it is what it is. But this unhealthy hand is going to come under the right hand and then going to push it up. So that we've got like an alpine fault that's going to be formed, and then health will be the peak. Make sense? In scientific terms, I could use another, maybe two or three more examples. I remember reading one day about the Einstein-Podolsky-Rosen experiments about quantum physics. And basically they were saying that you can predict, because everything is entangled, so this left hand and this right hand are entangled within the same body-mind-spirit complex. So this left hand here is a bunch of particles, and so is this hand. And as they are entangled, then what happens is that you can predict not only the momentum, but also the state, the properties of each hand. So if this hand is really low, not very buzzing, that means that this hand is very high and full of energy. And then hopefully we're going to merge them together and then, bring about health. It's also about the constructive interference metaphor that I've got here. So basically you've got those two waves, and as they get closer to each other, you've got like this hand will be sort of the peak, and then that hand will be the trough. And as they meet and align, then they actually, like scalar waves, they are going to compress their wavelengths, and then a transfer of energy will get operated, and then this hand will take over this one. It's a bit like, you know, when you throw a little rock on the surface of a lake, and then it creates like ripples out, right? So imagine that this left hand, the imbalanced one, is one little pebble that gets thrown over. You might think like, oh, but because I'm sick or I've got such and such a problem, this is going to be a big boulder. But actually this hand can only throw a little rock because you're so exhausted. So it will have like a little ripple spreading out across the surface of the lake. Whereas the right hand, the healthy one, the balanced one, is the one to throw a big boulder. So the big boulder will create a massive ripple, and then basically it will take over the little ripple coming from the left hand. Does it make sense? What else can I say? You always, like in a more poetic manner, I guess, that this right hand to me is the king of health. And it's not a king that has got like a judging sword or a protective shield. This is a king that wants to salute, wave and shake the hands of the peasants, of if this hand is a peasant. And again, there's no like negative derogatory connotation here, but this is a generous, humble, giving king here that extends out its riches, abundance, plentifulness of health. What else? Let me check out my notes just very quickly. We're going to have, let's say, two timelines. So this is the left hand is the past timeline. It's the one about conditioning, stress, bodily tear, disease, illness, sickness, whatever is troubling you. This is the past. Whereas this hand here is the future. And through an effect of retrocausality, so this right hand will project itself into the future, bring the best version of it, and then come back into the present. So past and future will meet in the middle and create the only true timeline that actually exists, which is joy and peace. Does it make sense? So it's kind of entropy in the left hand, which is chaos, randomness, disorder, and then right hand is order, peace, bliss. And this is like negentropy. So they're going to meet in the middle. It's like your lower version and then your higher version, and we're going to bring them together. Okay. So this is not a tug of war. You need to this is not like two unrelated pieces of who you are that are going to meet. This is a hug of peace, of two caring all friends. The left hand does not know yet that the right hand is the one that's out there to care for the left hand. And it's okay. But we're going to bring these two old friends together. This is more ancient. This is more recent. All right. So we are going to do this exercise. And it works a little bit like, I don't know if you've ever heard of EMDR, which is another energy technique. And they use that with people who have got PTSD. It's like you move a finger in front of the eye of a patient who suffers from PTSD, and then you ask the patient to recall the trauma that the person encountered. At the same time, the eye needs to follow the movement of the eyes, whatever direction the finger of the therapist goes. And then in the end, the mind, the neurons in the brain just cannot compute and like try to reactivate the pain of the trauma and at the same time physically follow the movement of the finger. And it's kind of what we're going to do here. So we're going to have, I want you to recall, in this left hand, the trauma that you have, the illness that you have, whatever is troubling you in your life, whether it's an emotion, lack, a sense of lack, of unworthiness, fear, sadness, grief, anger, or like a physical pain, whatever it is, okay? Anxiety, stress, depression. And then this right hand is how you would like to be, how you want to be, how you already are. So you're going to picture, you're going to go into the future and see yourself of what you would like to be. The more specific you are, the better. You're going to spend about 10-15 seconds on one hand. And then you're going to bring them slowly together. So you start here quite wide. And then as you get closer, don't have one hand that goes faster than the other one. Bring them together. Your mind will interrupt you big time. That's what the mind does. It doesn't want this. The mind wants to be in control. The mind wants to dominate. But you've got to command to your mind, let me do what my consciousness wants me to do. So 10-15 seconds, and as you get closer and closer, you're going to have your eyes closed. Maybe you're going to spend 5 to 10 seconds, and then maybe between 1 and 5 seconds as you get closer. And then you're going to try to bring out the most salient, the most vivid, the most impactful sense. And then at the very end, when it's time to clasp your hands like this, or you can just finish off like this, can go like this, it does not matter. But as you are going to clasp them, to bring them together, the last one that you need to revive, resuscitate, reenact is the one of health, of balance, of peace, of all the good stuff that you want. Okay? How long does it take? No idea. I'm going to do it, I'm going to give you like a shortened version with you now, but it could be, like 4 or 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes. But the key thing is that you've got to get invested in it. All right. Are you ready? Let's do it. Okay, so close your eyes. Picture in your left hand what is troubling you at the moment, whether it's minor or major. Feel it. See pictures. Maybe hear sounds. Can you feel something in the palm of your hands? A pressure, a fullness, numbness, cold, heat. And now in your right hand, feel, see, hear, maybe even smell or taste the opposite. How are you in this right hand? And then start bringing them together. There's no rush. 10-15 seconds on one hand, 10-15 seconds on the other hand. Don't have any expectation. The magic will happen when you don't expect it. I can feel a lot of things within my own body. I got a little pain in my left side of the back. And that's it. So it doesn't matter how long you do that for, how often you do it. You can do it for 2 minutes, or you can do it for 5 or 10. All right. Have a good day.